Hey, Scott here. On a new episode of the podcast, we talked with Katie Garcia of Bayonet Records. My takeaway from this episode was we started talking about artists who are prolific or encouraging artists to be prolific. In the past few years, I've started to think of Spotify and digital releases as a social media extension for artists. Artists will post hourly on Twitter or daily on Instagram or weekly on Facebook. And I don't think there's anything wrong with posting monthly or every 3 months or every other month on Bandcamp or Spotify or Apple Music. And I think in the same way that you generate, or people are concerned with generating content for their YouTube channel or for their Instagram, I think artists in the same way should be thinking about, I have followers and I have fans on Spotify and on Apple Music and on Bandcamp, and who get notified every time I have a new release. So I don't think there's any harm in releasing Christmas songs or in acoustic versions of your records or live EPs, or even just writing a single, and instead of waiting for the album to come out, you release that single. On the latest episode of our podcast, we spoke with Katie Garcia of Bayonet Records out of Brooklyn. Beach Fossils, Frankie Cosmos, Kevin Crowder. One of the things we talked about was an artist being prolific, and should artists be prolific? As labels, we are the conduit between the music listener and the music creators. On one hand, I think as label owners, we need to represent the fan who's saying, I'm here, I'm ready I want to hear what you have. Don't hold back, don't be precious with your art. Show me your rough demos, show me the early demos of these songs that I fell in love with, and they may end up liking them better than the original. I encourage artists, the artists I work with, I try to do this myself, to continue to upload stuff to Bandcamp or to Spotify, and not to leave these 2-year gaps where you release an album and then nothing for 2 years and then another album. I think it's important for me personally, I'm looking at 2 to 3 months, instrumental versions of the album, Christmas song, or acoustic versions. I don't think there's anything wrong with being prolific, and that was my takeaway from the podcast.